The fire tore through the wooden house like a relentless beast, devouring everything in its path. Firefighter Mark stood amidst the chaos, his breathing steady as he directed the hose toward the neighboring building. But then, a faint cry broke through the roar of the flames. He froze, tilting his head to listen more closely. "Help!" The voice was faint, barely audible, but it was unmistakable. Mark scanned the burning house next door and saw the flicker of a shadow in one of the upper windows. "There's someone in there!" He shouted to his team, but the noise of the fire drowned out his voice. Without waiting for a response, Mark tightened his helmet, adjusted his oxygen mask, and bolted toward the burning building. Every instinct screamed danger, but the thought of someone trapped inside silenced his fear. At the edge of the chaos, reporter Sarah had been documenting the firefighters' efforts for her live broadcast. Her camera caught the flames licking at the house, the embers floating through the air like fireflies. Then, through her lens, she spotted Mark. He was sprinting toward the inferno, his figure framed by the towering flames. "Wait, what is he doing?" Sarah whispered to herself, her hands trembling as she adjusted the focus. She knew this wasn't part of the plan. Her voice, steady despite her pounding heart, narrated the scene for her viewers. A firefighter is rushing toward a burning house. This could be a moment of unimaginable bravery or peril. The camera followed Mark's every move as he approached the front door, the intensity of the flames casting a golden glow on his reflective gear. The heat was oppressive, radiating from the burning house in waves that stung Mark's skin even through his gear. He reached the door, but the flames had already claimed most of the frame. The handle glowed red hot, and the wood crackled ominously. Mark didn't hesitate. He kicked the door open, the impact sending a shower of sparks into the air. Inside, the smoke was so thick it felt like a physical wall. "Where are you?" he shouted, his voice muffled by his oxygen mask. He moved cautiously, his boots crunching over debris. Then he heard it. A small, desperate voice crying out. Mark followed the sound, his heart pounding as he navigated the collapsing hallway. In the corner of a smoke-filled room, Mark saw them. A young girl clutching her little brother, shielding him with her small body. Their faces were streaked with soot, their eyes wide with terror. "It's okay. I'm here to help," Mark said, his voice calm despite the chaos around them. He scooped the children into his arms, the little boy clinging to his neck and the girl burying her face in his shoulder. The heat intensified as Mark made his way back to the entrance, shielding the children from falling debris. Outside, the crowd erupted in gasps and cheers as he emerged from the flames, the two children safe in his arms. But their cries for their mother reminded him that his job wasn't done. Mark handed the children to a waiting paramedic, his breath coming in short, labored gasps. "Mom's still inside," the older child sobbed, her voice breaking with desperation. Mark didn't pause. "Stay with them," he told the paramedic before turning back toward the house. Flames had grown fiercer, and parts of the roof were beginning to collapse. Onlookers watched in stunned silence as Mark sprinted toward the crumbling structure. The doorway was almost completely engulfed, but he didn't hesitate. He adjusted his gear one last time and plunged back into the inferno, determined to bring the mother out alive. The air inside was suffocating, thick with smoke and ash. Mark moved quickly, his eyes scanning every corner. Then, near the kitchen, he found her, a woman lying unconscious on the floor, her body partially covered in debris. "I've got you," Mark murmured, lifting her onto his shoulder. His muscles burned as he carried her through the collapsing house, each step a battle against the intense heat. The crowd outside erupted into cheers as Mark emerged, the woman draped over his shoulder. He stumbled onto the grass, gasping for air as paramedics rushed to take over. The children's cries turned to sobs of relief as they ran to their mother's side. In that moment, Mark wasn't just a firefighter. He was a hero. Sarah's footage captured every second of the rescue. The flames, the children, and the moment Mark re-entered the house. She uploaded the video to social media with the caption, "Firefighter risks everything to save a family." Within minutes, the post went viral. Comments poured in. "True hero. This is what bravery looks like." And, "We need more people like him." News outlets picked up the story, and soon Mark's face was everywhere. But back at the fire station, Mark sat quietly, sipping a cup of coffee. "I was just doing my job," he said when asked about the rescue. To him, it wasn't about fame. It was about doing what was right. The sun rose slowly over the fire station, casting a warm light on Mark as he sat on the steps outside. His gear, now covered in soot and ash, lay beside him. He held a cup of coffee, his hands steady despite the exhaustion that weighed on him. Inside the station, a computer screen replayed the viral video, but Mark didn't look. His gaze was fixed on the horizon, his mind replaying the events of the night. He thought about the children, the mother, and the lives that had been saved. A small smile tugged at the corner of his lips. "This is why we do it," he whispered to himself. The world might see him as a hero, but to Mark, it was simply the right thing to do. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stories That Inspire. Together, we can spread hope, one story at a time. See you in our next tale of inspiration.